Hello, my name is Shadley, welcome back for another episode of Victory as Argentina. In previous episode we managed to increase the standard of living quite a bit. Or, well, it was starting to increase already in the previous episode, admittedly. But it's been reaching over 15, we got over 80% literary rate, we got 51 million GDP, which is honestly pretty decent. We got a lot of innovation, we're still going to be building at least one more university. We might also go ahead and extend our military actually real quick. So we've got 45 battalions in here. You know what, we'll just go ahead and increase this to... Oh, right, we unlock siege artillery. I forgot to upgrade that. Okay, we'll just go ahead and upgrade that, and then what we might do is just get another 5 shrapnel artillery, actually. So that will get us to 50 battalions total in here. And that will already be pretty decent. I suppose we should probably go to the other army as well and just upgrade the artillery to siege artillery. I don't know if we need to activate both armies. We'll see if we need to. I think one army will probably be sufficient if it's just us versus the Chilean troops. I mean, I don't think they have trench infantry, do they? Not as far as I can tell, no. So their military is a lot worse quality. So all we can do is just, you know, probably just break through them, let's be honest. And if we get the siege artillery, then it's going to make it even more out of it. And there's the war propaganda, which is something that we were hoping to get. Oh, is there? Oh... Wait a minute. Oh, right. Barracks is also buying this. Oh, is the... Right, I didn't realize the siege artillery requires radios. Alright then, so what are we getting in the research right now? We're getting the international exchange standards. I think we might just gonna go ahead and... After the mechanized farming, we'll focus on the production text for a little while, until we get the radios. Military-wise, we've got the war propaganda now. The wargaming is going to be quite handy, admittedly, and so is the dreadnought, but I think we'll just go with what we have. So the increase in radio consumption. I mean, is there anyone selling radios? No, not as far as we know, at least. In that case, let's just double check. So this... Oh yeah, it does require radio. Okay, well in that case, we'll have to go back to shrapnel artillery. Oh, and we can't upgrade... Wait a minute. Oh, it's probably because they're still busy upgrading or something. I don't know. Well, we can't upgrade those. Fair enough. Oh, dreadnought is starting to spread just. I mean, that's quite handy. So we've got plenty of influence. I think at this point, before we run out too much on the artillery and such, Chile, I think it's time for us to settle our differences. And we'll go for the return state, Chile and Patagonia. That's going to be our first target. They might be able to call in people. I don't know who exactly they would invite. Oh, they just give up. Okay. Well, I mean, I'll take that, quite frankly. Because that should also... Conquest of the Desert complete. There we go. Conquest of the Desert. We have completed our long campaign to conquer the Patagonian south. Settlers are beginning to seek promising sites from which to establish new towns and exploit the region's natural resources. Oh, there we go. Patagonia gets, for 9 years, gets 100% more migration attraction. It's pretty decent. Do we now have a truce with Chile? We do. For 4 years. Okay. Well, in that case, what we could do is maybe another war against Bolivia. We've still got a truce with them for 13 weeks. That's manageable. They've got a bit larger army than Chile, of course, does. But we definitely want to get the Alto Paraguay from them. And maybe even Santa Cruz. Or get to the coastline over here. That's a decent bit of industries. They're not... Not really worth all that much right now. They're not getting the stuff that they need, I reckon. But there we go. At least that was a victory. Without fighting. Mind you, but it's a victory nonetheless. We do have fishing wharf there. We could actually go ahead and... Oh no, I don't think we have electricity in here, do we? No, we do. Well, in that case, first of all, let's go ahead and put in the electric street lights. That's usually a fairly easy one. And then we can probably put in the refrigerated rail cars in here. There's still plenty of transportation available. And can we put in the publicly traded? We could. There we go. So how's the private sector? It's got 3.6 million right now. That ain't too shabby. We're about to reach our max innovation. And we also built up a lot of armies. So is that's going to be the last building being built right now. The investment pool is starting to diminish a tiny bit now. But it ain't too bad. There we go. 13.6 million population. We're number 20 worldwide. But there we go. Well, the fact that we managed to get this even without a fight was quite handy. Oh, do we have electricity in here? We do, so we could actually go for the prime electrolysis. That reminds me, do we have explosive factories in here? We do, but that's already using the primes stuff, so that's good. I guess what we might need to do is let's have a look at the market again. So we definitely need telephones, we need radios, we need automobiles, we need oil, silk, rubber, fine art, glass, more wood, and steel, some engines, a bit of munitions, more clothing as well wouldn't hurt. I think what we'll actually do first is we'll get another level port in here, just to make sure that we got the capacity available. Also, let's get another coal mine there. Sulfur mine might not be that profitable, let's be honest. The oil rigs, we already got 3 there, we can't get any further than that, unless there's more being discovered. I don't think, well, there's discoverable resources, there might still be more oil available later on. But there we go, 15.3, they're not all living. Oh, actually, we can go back to speed 4, can't we? So, that's done, we got the increase in military, we got almost 700 prestige, which isn't still massive, but it is an improvement nonetheless. So what do we have in the Navy right now? We got 10 destroyers, 10 torpedo boats. We could upgrade the torpedo boats into destroyers. But they do the destroyers. They don't need radios, at least. What about the dreadnoughts? They will. Okay, so we can't go above ironclads quite yet. North German Federation is still North German Federation rather than Germany. Austria-Hungary is still alive and kicking. I mean, to be fair, quite often there isn't really like the First World War that happens, where a lot of nations then get broken down. There we go, we got pretty much maxed out innovation, and it's getting us techs rather quickly. So we'll get the stock exchange, or exchange centers rather, and then we'll start working on the production stuff. I don't know which one of these is going to spread first to us. We kind of want to get the telephone. Ooh, oil discovered in Antigua. Pretty sure that's not one of my states. No, just 6 to 9 weeks for the exchange standards, and after that it's just going to be production for a little bit at least. Now, to be fair, there's probably some... Oh, wow, right. So, a quarter of our GDP is from my capital. Now, to be fair, it's also probably about a quarter of our population. Probably even more than that. So, it makes sense. The urban center is not really making profit. It's kind of has a huge deficit in there. I suppose electricity is one of the problems. And the transportation is being produced maybe a bit too much. We could reduce the engine use in here a little bit, but I don't know if that's actually going to be better. Oh, wow. You know what, let's go for the automobiles. Or public motor carriages. I don't know if that's going to be helpful. I suppose it's not updated in the numbers there yet. We'll see. Will that help? I mean, the automobiles, we do produce at least some locally. Actually, a lot locally. So it should be at least somewhat manageable to get in there. Or get them in there, and they might... Oh yeah, they are making profit now. Finally. Now, we're not building anything ourselves right now, but I suppose one of the things that the private sector is building... It's got a whole lot of things. A lot of steel mills, some logging camps, textile mill, some wheat farms, fertilizer, glassworks, Arts Academy, another steel mill. Are we using the... So we got level 3 Arts Academy in here. Oh, and there's the exchange standards. So more minting and less interest rates. That's very handy. So it uses 2 electricity per level. But I suppose what we could do is just build some more power plants in here. What another 3? It's going to be a bit expensive to construct. And it's going to take a decent bit of time. But once those are... completed. It's actually not that long of a time. Less than a year. Ooh, elevators is spreading. Right, but we wanted to focus on the production for a brief moment here. So elevators... Oh, is that? Oh, right over here. We still don't have the Zeppelins either, but that's going to allow us to get the arcades in for urban centers and leads to paved roads, which will allow us to have more land trade capacity, and construction progress is going to be increased. Or like we can have more construction per building. So we'll build faster, and max infrastructure from population is increased. So that's all pretty decent. But we do want to focus on the production for a brief moment now. So I do wonder, we don't have truce with Bolivia anymore, do we? No, we do not. So if I go to return state, they might get supported by Russia. How strong is the Russian army, first of all? They have 200 battalions, plus a lot of contracts that they might rise. The GDP is... kind of stagnant. I mean, they've got a lot larger GDP than I do. They've been fighting probably a lot of wars, which hasn't really helped them. So I'm thinking about maybe doing a war for the Alto Paraguay. I do believe we've got larger... Oh yeah, we've got a lot larger military than the Bolivians do. So they might take the offer outright. I've still got 6 million pounds to pay off for the debt though. But I suppose now the interest rate is... Yeah, it's only £11,000 a week. We did get the reduction. Actually, let's have a look. How much is the reduction? Yeah, it's 1.5% as expected. Well, as predicted. So there we go. That's good. There's still low market access is going up and down every now and then. Oil is in high demand. Glass is in pretty high demand as well, which might go a bit hand in hand, mind you. Are we getting any more glass works? Maybe a little bit here and there. Oil still would be profitable, even though with the high price of oil. But I think soon enough, well, once we get the power plants and all that sorted in our capital, we might go ahead and do a war against Oh, okay, communist Peru-Bolivia. I wonder if I could offer support, like, maybe give that state to me, and then I would join on the Peru-Bolivian side, but I don't know if Peru-Bolivia is going to get a lot of support from other nations. They might well do. But that way we could weaken some of our neighbors in here, and also gain some more land. Oh, Russia sides of Peru-Bolivia. Well, that doesn't surprise me. In that case, we might not want to go in there. Although, if I offer support... Oh, ask for obligation. Nah. That's not good enough. I don't think they can give me land in a civil war, to be fair. I could declare my own war against Peru-Bolivia. Actually, no, I can't, because they have a ongoing diplomatic play against them. Right, well, 10 to 15 weeks for the mechanized farming, so that will be done soon. After that, it's going to be either the electric art process, which is quite handy, actually, as well. We'll definitely want to have that. Or the telephone, or the artificial silk. The telephone is definitely something we need desperately, and we also need to get the radio, to be fair. Which is why we're just going to be focusing on the production text for a little while. Well, the max innovation is growing. Admittedly, the literary rate has also increased quite a bit. I mean, to be fair, if we have a look at, for example, our capital state... let's see, information... Literary, 89%. And that is a quarter of our population, so yeah, that's pretty decent. I don't suppose the national identity... No, we can't do that one yet. Because we have used it in the past 5 years. If we do have a look at our population in general, Argentines do make over 50% now, 53%. Latvians still make 16%, and Vataconians make a 7.5%. There we go, the power plants are going to be done shortly. I mean, at least 2 of them will be done shortly, and the third one is not going to be much behind that either. So we'll get a decent bit more power. Technically speaking, the oil-fired power, or oil-fired plants would be kind of good for the extra production. There's an extra 50. But it requires more engines and it requires oil, which we can't really afford right now. Or at least not get large enough quantities. I do wonder, though, is there any more places where we could import a lot of... Well, technically speaking, we could import oil from the Russian market, sure. And the American market. There we go. It takes a little bit of bureaucracy, perhaps, but that's fine. And that way we can get a bit cheaper oil, which will reduce the production cost a lot. And the investment pool is already over 4 million. Okay, so I think we can afford increasing the construction speed even further. I think Cordoba is going to get another construction sector. And then maybe Santa Fe is going to get another one. Let's build those and see if the private sector can keep up with that. Oh, there's the mechanized farming. I'm just going to go ahead and go for the telephone. See if that starts spreading. If it doesn't start spreading, we might switch to the electric arc process builds, or the artificial silk, either one. Because if we can get the artificial silk, we'll start mass producing that, essentially. Oh, this telephone's spreading. Oh, brilliant. Okay, that was what we were hoping for. So then maybe we can get the radios after that. Or the artificial silk, or the electric arc process. I mean, any of those 3 is good for us. The electric arc process allows us to get a lot more steel with a lot less coal, which means that we can use the coal for other purposes, like making more power. So, cattle and mass immigration. I didn't check what the state was, where it's going. Oh, it's Patagonia. It's really handy to get more population in here, although there is quite a bit of free workers already in there. We could have some more livestock ranches in here. I don't know if it's going to be profitable, mind you. Maybe, just about. Do we have power in here? We do have a little bit. We might want to get another power plant in there. So I'm going to start using the refrigerator storage in here. And it costs a little bit of power, but then we're going to... Oh, hold on a minute. Now that we've got the mechanized farming, let's have a look at the buildings. So we can go for the intensive wool gathering. So that's going to reduce the meat that we have a little bit. And that's alright. And then we'll get more fabric, more fertilizer. We'll use a bit more grain, but I don't think grain is a huge problem. And Buenos Aires, yeah, we'll switch to this, even though it might not be profitable. And then mechanized slaughterhouses, we could use a bit more coal. Reduce the... Actually, the workers are going to be the same number, but different jobs. Less laborers and more farmers and machinists. and a bit more meat, so that's going to be useful as well. Oh, and did we get... Oh, right, for the wheat farms, we could use tractors now. A bit more engines and coal, less tools, a lot less laborers. Well, it's 1,000 per level. So, yeah, that could be quite handy. And same with the maize farms, I suppose we can do that one. So there we are. A bit more engine consumption, but that's alright. So how's the... Well, we've got 80 battalions army. We could probably go ahead and increase that a bit further. So the second Argentinian army, we'll just go ahead and get you another 10. We'll get 5 from Patagonia. Maybe we'll get another 5 from Corrientes. So that will be 10 barracks total. That'll get us this army to 40 battalions. Now, I would like to get more shrapnel artillery, or... Oh! No. Yeah, we could upgrade the conscripts. Again, since we don't have the radios quite yet. Although we are probably going to get that, well, we are going to get that within the year. And we'll start immediately, hopefully, building at least one electronic, or the... Is it electronics plant? Hold on a minute, what's the name of it again? Electric Industries, right. So if we get that one, at least a few of those, we can start getting a whole lot of telephones. Which, to be fair, there's a small product, there's 800 being produced already. Admittedly, a lot of that is being bought from the Americans, Dutch, and the French. And the West Country, Munster, and Connacht. So there's a bit of Irish production and West Country as well. So mostly in like the Cornwall area, there's 5 levels of it actually already. It's pretty decent. Oh, it looks like the civil war in Peru Bolivia is already over. So how strong is Brazil? 225 battalions, so they do have a lot larger army than I do. What about if I wanted to go for Banda Oriental? We'd have to fight Spain, wouldn't we? If we fight Spain, well, we've got good relations with them, so we can't really do that. We'd try banning slavery. Right then, they've got a larger army than I do. Because we are increasing our armies now to 90 battalions total. And then, of course, we got some of the conscripts. But I'd rather not use the conscripts if I don't have to. Because that tends to be a lot larger hit on the economy than what we can stand easily. So, we'll just go without raising the conscripts if we can. Depending on the war, of course, when we're fighting. So with Chile, we've still got neutral relations with them. How long until the truce ends? 3 years. Right, we might go for the southern area over here then. The Araucania. So that we can then maybe get a little bit more oil from there. There's up to 4 oil rigs available, plus some gold mines, which is always handy. We did get a... Well, we didn't... No, I think we got 1 extra gold mine in here when we conquered this from... Oh! Some American people have begun migration from Honduras to Buenos Aires. Alright then, well, the population is increasing now. But how much do we still need for the population in Americas? It is still 18 million. Okay, we've got almost 14 at least. Oh, we can promote European migration. Oh, but it reduces our authority quite a bit. Okay. I'm sure that we can probably manage this without that. Depends how much we conquer new lands, to be fair, but I don't think we need to do too much. Legitimacy is down to 50. Ooh, that's not good. I don't think we can get any better. Oh, Bulgarians on that immigration Cordoba. Well, at least we're getting a lot of population. It might start reducing standard of living a little bit because we're not increasing the economy necessarily quickly enough. Although we did increase the amount of construction now, so we're still making £50,000. Admittedly, we've done most of the construction work already that we were setting out to do, except the power plant in Patagonia. Everything else is pretty much done. So the army is now increasing to 90 battalions total. We've got over 700 prestige. Preferably we'd have a bit more than that. We've got 54 million GDP, and number 13 worldwide. So at least we're slowly rising the ranks there. Although I think we may have actually dropped it a little bit. How's Brazil doing? They got 30... Oh wow, 35. Yeah, their economy is crushed. Thanks to the war that they had against the French, and then the Civil War and all that. It's not looking good. But they've still got a decent military. Oh, well, there we go. Now that we're not building anything, we're getting £82,000 per week. Well, to be fair, we're just currently waiting for the telephone to be researched. After that, we'll probably start building several levels of electric industries. Most likely in our capital, at least to begin with. And the arcades, that requires elevators. Right, and that's going to increase the clothes and shopkeepers a lot. A lot more electricity and steel, but it will actually not reduce glass consumption. It's just a little bit extra steel and electricity. It's going to provide a lot more service. Of course, service price isn't that bad right now in here. And there's still low standard of living in several states. But not in our capital. And not in Cordoba. Or Mendoza. Lawrence Lumpson's exile for... Ah, okay. I thought that was another mass immigration, but no. Hell on earth. No, we can't slow the process. We need to make sure that we get as much rubber out of this as possible, which, to be fair, is probably going to be fairly limited. We've got an urban center in here. We can't get the electricity there. Got the public motor carriages, but there's actually no workers in that building whatsoever. So, yeah, not exactly ideal. Getting almost £80,000 per week. And, okay, we're losing £30,000 in the instant pool. So we will probably, especially once we get the telephone research, we'll need to see what we can get. And I think what we'll go ahead and start researching the radio. I don't know if it's going to start spreading to us, but we'll at least get that going. And then if need be, we can switch to other things, of course. But the private sector is definitely building a lot of things in here. A lot of furniture manufacturers right now. I suppose if there is a demand for furniture, then sure. I suppose there's always a little bit demand. It's just a matter of weeks and we get the telephone. Alright, the GDP has kind of stalled for... Oh! We lack a lot of bureaucracy. Oh, because the population has increased so much. Oh, oil discovery in Paraguay, though. Yes, we'll encourage that trend. And we'll just go ahead and build up those three. It will mean that we won't get quite as much money, but we've got less than 4 million credit to pay off now, so we're fine on the money situation. At least, more or less fine on that. But we do need to get some more bureaucracy, so we'll just go ahead and build at least another 2 government administration buildings in here. And after that, we'll probably have the... Well, we will have the electric industries unlocked soon. Like, as soon as this week is over. And there we are, telephone. So I think what we'll do is we'll start for the radio so that we can start producing those as well. But if it starts spreading one of the other twos, then 2 ticks there, then we'll switch to that one. Just because we want to have all those 3, and the faster we can get those, the better. So let's go ahead and put in electric industries in here, shall we? It should be a massive profit. At least expected. We'll probably go ahead and build 5 of them to begin with. But probably trade it already in there. So that is going to be potentially... So how much does it actually produce? Well, it doesn't list it in there. I guess what we can do is, let's have a look at from here. So electric industries should be building 60 telephones per level. Plus the throughput bonuses you might have there. It does employ a lot of people. And it gives 10 urbanization level. It does use 3 infrastructure though. But yeah, that's 5 of them is going to be 300 plus telephones that we can produce. I don't know if there's a huge demand in our area yet. If we have a look at local prices, for example. Telephones, I'm sure that there's some usage for them. But, yeah, there's actually quite a bit buy orders. Just Pops are wanting to buy 94 right now. That's quite a bit, actually. We're currently building the oil, and then we're also going to get the government administration built. But the oil rigs are going to be done in a matter of a few weeks. And then we'll get these... Oh, so what it... Oh, it's getting the electric arc process. Okay, so we'll go ahead and switch the research for that one. Then we'll put the radio back in there to kind of try to boost that every now and then. So it is going to take a while to get the tech there. So what are we doing on the military? We're getting the dreadnought soon. And in society, we are getting the elevators soon enough. Getting some more explosive factories and motor industries and tooling workshop. There's a whole lot of buildings being built. There's also going to be a lot of iron mine and steel mills soon enough. But once we get the electric arc process, that's going to make the steel production a bit more straightforward. I mean, well, okay, we'll need the coal still for making the power, but then we don't need the coal for actually making the steel at that point. At least it stays where... Well, actually, no, we do still need some. But it's going to require electricity and a bit of extra iron, but that is going to get us an extra 30 steel per level. Okay, so we still need the coal. But it will give us a bit more production overall, regardless. Oh, it seems like the max innovation that we can have... Oh, because there's a lot of people moving in that might not be able to read yet. Or might not be literate. That might be causing some issues. But there we go, we're 15 million pops. How much do we... So if we have a look at the population in America, so we still need 18 million, so we're 3 million short. New national identity, we could push for that again. Sure. National values. Woohoo, Corrientes and Paraguay. Oh. Now we just have 1 more that needs to switch. Okay. Well, that's coming along quite nicely. Oh, all discovered in Timbuktu. Not exactly what I expected. I suppose it does make sense, but yeah, no, that's not something that we need to worry about. So now the electric industries. First one's going to be done in about 20 weeks. So we shall have that sooner rather than later. And how long with the truce with Chile? That is going to end up in June 1925. Okay. For Bolivia, they've got, of course, support from Russia, but they don't have a huge army. We've got about a 2-to-1. And if we were to, well, especially if we get the radios, we can get a whole lot better troops. Of course, if we were to increase our fleet size, how much do they have? Ships? I didn't check that. 7. Oh, wow, they don't have a lot of fleet anymore. The Russians, on the other hand, do, but the Russian fleet wouldn't really be doing that much work for them. So we could potentially do a war against Bolivia again. I don't know how much areas we could gain from them. I mean, at least this one should be the priority. And then maybe we can add in some more war goals if they don't give up that one. But first, we might want to go ahead and extend the army size a little bit further. For that, we will need a whole lot more... Well, honestly, we just need a whole lot more radios. And for that, we'll need to get the radio tech researched. There we go. At least some of the administration buildings are getting what they need. Or, like, we're getting the bureaucracy production up again. So that is good. Oh, anarchist society. New party formed. Alright then, let's have a look at the party. Oh, right. National Civic Union is just intelligentsia and armed forces. Anarchist Society is the rule book. Alright. Social Democratic Party is the trade unions. Argentine Patriot League is the petty bourgeoisie. And Free Trade Party is... I think the Free Trade Party might be getting a whole lot more momentum this time around. Well, actually, it's not really that good. It's the Anarchist Society is actually the second largest party. At least... estimated. Alright then. We've all got 15.4 million population, and we need the 18 of incorporated population, that is. Now, to be fair, most of the states are incorporated. The only state that isn't, we are incorporating, but it's not going to be done for until the end of the game, really. But yeah, we've got how much population was there in here? 1.1 thousand, or 1.2 thousand. I suppose we could round it up there, but yeah, it's not a lot. So we're getting a whole lot of the electric industries now built. That will be done fairly shortly. And once we start getting a lot of telephones available, what we could do is we could, especially with the government administrations, we can switch to the telephone switchboards, which will increase the bureaucracy a lot. This is going to be another, what, 490 or so? Which is 14. So yeah, it's pretty decent. Of course, the telephones right now are so expensive that it's not going to be worthwhile. But somewhere down the line we will need it, especially with the population increasing as much as it does. Oh, speak of the devil. Sorb people have begun migrating from North German Federation to Patagonia. Right, well, I suppose Patagonia could be possibly another industrial place. I mean, there's a lot of coal there. There's some sulfur. Could maybe get a fertilizer plant there, actually. There's no iron, but there's sulfur and iron we can produce elsewhere. Oh, there's the dreadnoughts. Can we upgrade the... I don't think we actually can, but let's double check. The Navy. Can we upgrade the ironclad dreadnoughts? No, we cannot. In that case, we're going to just get rid of the ironclad and we'll start... Oh, bollocks. Right, these need radios. Oh, you know, we'll... Oh, right, there's no supply of that. Okay, well, I guess we'll have a bit smaller Navy for a brief moment. Once we get the radios underway, or some radio producing in our market, which right now, there's no one doing it. Oh, wargaming is spreading now. That's good. That's going to allow us to get the better trading production method in barracks. So 15.6 million population, 56.5 million GDP. And I'm guessing as soon as we start getting some of the electric industries, which there's one already in there, it is probably going to be a very, very profitable. One of the problems is going to be the rubber. Like, I don't know if we'll have enough of that. But I suppose the British are doing so much colonizing in Africa that there's probably going to be some available sooner or later. And investment pool is already 5 million again. And we've still got 2.5 million credit to pay it back, but that is going to be taken care of soon enough. I'm hoping that they are hiring more people here quickly. But they don't... No, there we are. The vehicle balance isn't huge, but it is definitely a high demand item in here. I will be increasing the total size of this a lot further. I suppose the throughput is already increased by 10%. And now it's 11%. So that is already improving. Yeah, no, the vehicle balance is now growing rather swiftly. But there's not enough telephone production here yet. But it's probably going to be a fairly significant increase in the GDP as well over time. We will need another... You know what, actually? Yeah, we'll get one more government administration in here. That'll give us a bit more bureaucracy. But I do see that we are actually out of time for this episode. So if you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe if you haven't already. Also, check out the links down below in the description. But other than that, thank you very much for watching. Until next time, bye-bye.